Hello everyone, I'm Andrew Can, and if I can, you can too. Today we're going to be talking about SEO, and I'm going to be taking suggestions from the audience and showing you how you can optimize them for success here on YouTube. That said, if you're watching the replay, there's a lot of value to be had here. You can follow along with a lot of the ideas I'm going to be showing off today, and I'm really excited to get going. I see a lot of people, I see Urban Explorer, I see cute furry friends, I see Desert Geek or Desert Geek, and I see Massive Fitness who says looking forward to this. So how we're going to be doing this in the stream is if you give me a topic, I'm going to go ahead and do my best to help you go for SEO dominance. Now here's the thing, and I want to say this before we get into the stream. SEO cannot save bad quality content. SEO can only help enhance a well-crafted and pretty much solid video. Now, what are those? Those are things that keep your audience engaged and watching through to the end. That being said, I see Passive Income Tom says afternoon. The Urban Explorer asks a good question off the bat while I wait for SEO suggestions, and the question is, do wording in your thumbnails mean much? So the question is pretty nuanced. So YouTube is looking at your thumbnails, but really what matters is, does that wording in the thumbnails cause your audience to react? So when it comes to wording in your thumbnail, what it cares most about, one, is it any profanity? Obviously, it's going to identify that. If so, that can get you demonetized. But what it cares more about is it causing people to click through to your thumbnail and watch the content? Because sometimes a word can make them click through, but if they'd stop watching, it doesn't matter as much. So really what they're focusing on is whatever's in your thumbnail compelling people to watch more? 30-day review says, hello there, sir. I see iPhone Chris. I see Scully's House of Thrillers. However, before we get started today with your SEO suggestions, there's a tool called TubeBuddy, which makes this all possible. If you want to be doing any of the SEO stuff I do today, it's going to be done through TubeBuddy. You can download TubeBuddy for free in the link in the description and use my code AndrewsBuddy to get 25% off. In full disclaimer, I work for TubeBuddy, so I am very biased. I see Desert Geek, major SEO gaps to identify for your brand as a whole. Like, I think Seattle is such a small audience that I may need to look for more long tail and related keys. So Seattle is a great place to start. I actually have a vlog, which if you're watching the replay, I'll put a card on screen to my vlog trip there. But Seattle is actually a really good place to get started because it's a little more vague and it's not as specific. So you know you're going to make content around Seattle. That's great. But what are you doing within the content, right? That's where doing SEO and researching really kind of comes into play. The Mr. L says, hello, everyone. So I'm going to go over to my screen and give you an idea of what I'm talking about here. So the first thing I'm going to do is use something called TubeBuddy's Search Explorer feature. So anytime you search on YouTube, you will see this, and you'll also see the top things for search. So as we zoom in here, because I'm pretty sure you can't see the screen that well, I want to go ahead here. The things to take a look at in Search Explorer in the keyword stats is that the search volume and this is weighted, so it's not taking in my channel's weight, meaning that my own channel isn't necessarily going to be affecting this. It doesn't know my channel's strengths, weaknesses, what have you. So with that in mind, you really got to see. Paul Peck, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Can't wait to see you, Andrew, and the Urban Explorer at Vid Summit. I can't wait to see you, Paul Peck. We talk about you in the most positive way possible in almost every event, and we always use you as an example of people who are like, well, I have a channel where I do something really niche. There's no way that many people would be interested, and we always bring you up because you've made drywall interesting, which is honestly a very impressive feat. And so anytime people say I can't do X because it's too specific, I love bringing your channel up and showing your growth and showing how you've been able to optimize it, kind of the ways we're going to be doing here for Desert Geek or Desert Geek. Please let me know the difference. The Urban Explorer, aka Neil, says, I'm loving the TubeBuddy A/B testing feature, and Paul, I can't wait to see you at Vid Summit. So as we look here, the first thing I want to bring up is that when it comes to doing a term, you said you're doing Seattle. So we know people are searching for Seattle, but it's what you do in the vlogs that matter. All the sweets, all the time. So it's dessert. So if I look here, I see the search volume is excellent, meaning a lot of people are searching for it. It has an estimated 10.6 million searches per month. And then I look here, the competition is poor. And the reason it's poor is because there's a lot of people making videos about Seattle, as you can see here. So Seattle Travel Guide, this one is about how Seattle is dying. This one says walking tour of the streets, 22 things to do in Seattle. So by just having Seattle, you really have to focus on what you're doing in Seattle. If I look at the keyword stats, it gives me a little bit of an identification here, right? So this is something you got to keep in mind. The most viewed video is 4.9 million views, which is also Como News, Seattle is dying. The least viewed video to get on this page, or at least what it's recognizing, although I can see the Seattle Travel Guide is 608,000. So sometimes you got to really pay attention. But if we're looking here, a lot of these videos are doing very well. And again, accidents happen. If I were to take a guess of why it's saying this is the least viewed, it's always going to be custom to myself. So looking here, I'm thinking it's saying from Expedia, Seattle Travel Guide, I think is what it's identifying. But of course, it's giving me custom results. The main thing to pay attention to is what channel has the most when it comes to these search results, as well as what are people searching for to Seattle, right? So right here, people are looking Seahawks, earthquakes, Washington, Sounders, underground, police, vlog, right? So you're a vlog-based channel. So I would say we explore a little more, right? And by clicking this, we get a little bit more in seeing here. So now all of a sudden we have different searches, right? So the search volume is a little above bad. It's in the fair. Obviously, it's still closer to the red than we'd like. The competition is poor, meaning that there's not that many people searching for it, but there's a lot of competition. So honestly, just by doing Seattle vlog isn't enough. So when I look here, and based on what you've told me, you're talking about suites, that's when I would go into the keyword explorer. And if we click for weighted, it'll give us, a little bit more. The thing I would say is that there isn't enough just from Seattle vlog, right? But if we add 2019, because maybe people are wanting more relevant things, yeah, our score may be better. And yes, there are a lot of number of videos and the search is a little better, but the problem is still, it's not that much better comparatively to this, right? Like we only know 610 people are looking for just Seattle vlog in general, maybe a little more add that 2019. But the problem becomes that it already has so little search to go with at the start. And so sometimes if you niche down too much where no one's searching for it, yes, you've created content for this thing. But in reality, Seattle vlog, which is kind of what you're focusing on, or Seattle is the city you're in, isn't as searchable as per se the best, since you're talking about desserts, like let's say the best Danish in North America is way more searchable than maybe Seattle, right? So it's understanding like what is the dessert I'm talking about, and then how can I find a way to shape it to match Seattle, or like the best dessert in the Pacific North America West, right? And then like you're targeting a general area, but you're not being so specific where no one's searching for it. So it's finding what is the actual searchable part about it. The Urban Explorer said, I colored myself in my channel banner this week and added a TubeBuddy t-shirt to me, LOL. Well, that's good. Always got to show those TubeBuddy colors if you couldn't tell. But when I'm looking at this term, I would say that focusing on Seattle may not be the strength here. Obviously, if you just, like maybe if you're a local business, then focusing heavily on Seattle makes more sense. But since you want to have a global appeal, Seattle's just the city you're in, right? So like, let's say best ice cream in the US, right? That's going to have more specific goals, right? Like this is just an easy dessert, we can kind of focus on, right? Best ice cream in the US. There's a lot of videos. There's a good amount of search volume. So if I say best ice cream, and obviously if I spell ice cream correct, that can also help a lot. Ice cream. I say ice cream, which is just me being dumb. We already see best ice cream in New York City and flavors in New York. So maybe we can try in Seattle. Maybe there's actual, people who are looking for ice cream. They're looking for Seattle. And, this actually gives us a little bit more specific. And as we go a little closer to what we're doing, right? Like all of a sudden we went from Seattle vlog, which really wasn't the focus, to ice cream, best ice cream in Seattle. Well, all of a sudden we're getting better results, right? Like we have about 14, almost, I'm going to say 15,000 if we round up, 15,000 searches per month. We have a decent amount, and the barrier to entry is actually really low, right? So I'm seeing, thank you, Andrew. I'm more of a review channel than a vlog, and the search for food in Seattle is just so limited, hoping to move to covering in Vancouver ASAP. Even when I did a series on best ice cream in Seattle, it didn't do very well. Well, again, that could be down to like who are you competing against. But if I'm looking here you're ranking again, like you're doing really well. In fact, you own 11 of the 29 search results. So you say you're not doing really well, but from an SEO standpoint, you're doing fantastic. Like you're dominating the search. What I would say is you may not be getting the views you thought you would. And that's when it comes to the SEO side, you're doing fantastic, but you may not be getting the views you wanted. And that doesn't mean that you weren't doing well on the SEO side, but it really matters in how many impressions did you get? Are people clicking through? Because all CTR means is that when people saw your thumbnail in the search or in the suggested or in the browser, wherever YouTube suggested it, did they actually click on it to watch the video? A lot of times, if you're ranking high in search, and what I'll see is a lot of times people will have amazing impressions, but a very low CTR. So for example, if YouTube gives you out to like 100,000 people, but you have a CTR of 0.3%, then that means you aren't going to be getting the return that you're hoping to see. So hopefully that gives a little light, because you are, by definition, you're showing up in search and you are probably well optimized based on what I'm seeing. I can go a little deeper, but based on what I'm seeing here is that the search isn't there for the views that you were hoping to get. It would be my guess. So looking here, I see Flash in Your Pan who says, "Hey Andrew Can, got to record. Have a good stream. Thank you, 30-day reviews. I finally edited all my playlists. All right, I'll take a look at that maybe later in the stream if I can remember 30 days. So hopefully that gives you a little idea of kind of what we're seeing here, because if I look here, you are doing great. I mean, 970 views isn't bad. 1,000 views, again, not bad. And you're showing up. I'd say Ultimate Seattle Ice Cream Tour Part 2, again, just on the title, right? Like if this is a Part 2, I'd say this one is a little bit more. If I were to take a look, the top 5 best Seattle ice cream shops, like you are dominating it, but I'd be curious to all the click-through rates on every single one of them. Dessert Geek says, time to do more thumbnail A/B tests then and get the chocolate videos up. I'm on it. Again, this could just be an example of, how order the videos, how well optimized are they. In fact, I'll just go ahead and click on it, right? One thing I will say right off the bat is when I see Part 3, I understand that you're doing this maybe for viewers coming back, but it's better to put in the video this is Part 3 of a series and then try to get them to Part 1 than I would maybe say focus on it. And this could be where in the content itself, you may not, this is a Part 3, right? So like Part 1 is where we really got to look at the views. And then you got to make sure that you're converting, right? So right off the bat, you haven't made it easy for me as a viewer. Like you should pin your own top comment and say, hey, this is Part 3 in a series. If you want to check out the first part or check out the playlist to watch all of this series easily, you're not doing that, right? Like you're not making it easy. Now you may have it here, and I see you have it here, but again, you want to be so in your face about where you are telling them these things that it's almost impossible for you to be ignored. I'll go ahead and drop a like on that for you. But again, like looking here, you have best Seattle ice cream. You're doing pretty well in what you're ranking for. But again, if I see Part 3, right, like I'm not as likely to click. But if you're like, hey, this is Part 3 in the video itself, and you're directing them to another spot, at least you're keeping them within the ecosystem. But the problem is when you start on Part 3, you're almost competing against yourself. And if they click the Part 3 and then don't click to Part 1, then you may end up hurting yourself more than helping. So again, I understand kind of the logic you had here, but it's just making sure that you keep them going back between the parts. Thank you. I'm so glad you caught that on the pinned comment. Cute Furry Friend says, love ice cream. That's a cool video to make. Again, so this is just a good example of a term you're going for. And you said you're mostly doing reviews. And if you're based on like desserts, like people care about desserts. Like another thing you can think about is maybe it doesn't make sense, but like a lot of cafes, Seattle's notorious for coffee, right? Like maybe you focus on like the best desserts with coffee in Seattle. Like that just seems like a no-brainer for me, especially since it's a city that's pretty based around coffee and it's something you're known for, right? Like there's a reason Starbucks was founded there. So, well, not just that, but people know Starbucks is founded there. Like finding a way to include the coffee element and the dessert promise that people are coming to you for, I don't think you need to focus on Vancouver. I think it's just you need to really focus on how you're positioning your videos. And what I'm seeing is that, like, if you're telling me this is Ultimate Seattle Ice Cream Tour Part 3, I would maybe really hyper focus on that first one and working on making sure you can get people through the next parts. That'd be your bigger test. Because a lot of times people will do like a 10-part series, but people never make it through part 1. So when you're on part 10, it didn't matter because no one finished part 1. Like, you made a series, but the problem was that you didn't get through it. And if you're looking for maybe like a natural way to bridge that gap, maybe you talk about coffee ice cream, which is a dessert. And you're like, you know what? I'm in Seattle. Here's the best coffee you can get in the city. And then you're just like naturally giving that review promise. So that's just kind of my opinion on how I focus it. But again, I think that you found a way to stand out. It's just you're not getting the views and the numbers that you have in your head. But on a pure technical SEO side, you're dominating it. So keep that in mind. That being said, if you have a term you'd like me to help you SEOify, I guess that's what I'll call it, let me know in the comments. I can't drink coffee, sadly, but I have a vlogger friend who loves coffee, so I'll have to get her help. And you see, even if that's a kind of crutch, if you can't drink coffee, maybe it's like a allergy or maybe it's something you don't believe in. I understand that. Finding a way to bring in your friends or collaboration, that might end up working well for you. And maybe like she'll cover the coffee, or he or she, or they will cover the coffee and you'll cover the dessert. And that can be like a collab series you do. And then it's fun for both parties. You're getting out more, you're hanging out more. And again, it just seems like an overall, but again, figure it out the best of your ability. Cute furry friend says, I'm coming to watch you. Coming to watch you're going to make me fatter, LOL. Milkshakes instead of coffee. That's an option. And again, you got to find what works for your channel. So let's say I'm Paul Peck and I want to see what people care about in drywall, right? Well, my first thing, and this is for Paul and his authority, right? Like, in theory, Paul eventually would want to show up when people just type in drywall. Now, there are a couple ways you can do this. Obviously, there's a lot of videos here. But if I'm looking here, the Vancouver Carpenter seems to be killing it. Now, it also could be I put a space, and again, I am terrible. But if I get rid of the space, maybe Paul's dominating, and maybe I know nothing. But I'm still kind of seeing something that bothers me. I would like to see Paul Peck, a little higher here. Now, if I look here, so I'm looking here, and there's about 2.6 million searches per month. The competition is poor. But this is what I focus on for Paul Peck, right? Can my video, maybe not right away, but maybe over time, at least hit 11,000 views? If I'm Paul Peck, I do think that is a possible thing. I've seen his videos get really high in the views. I would say focus on drywall and then whatever you want to do, right? Like this one's how to install drywall. I'm pretty sure Paul probably has a video on that. Ryan A. Raymond says, I've been hitting the keyword merch by Amazon as related terms, so this could be a sub-niche for print on demand. I'm not quite sure how to generate more search volume in the higher viewed term. So I'm not quite sure how to generate more search volume in the higher viewed term. You're not going to be generating more search volume. That's not the job of you. Are you talking about getting more views from the term? Because like if you're asking, you're not sure how to get more views from this term, that's a completely different thing than generate more search volume. So I guess a little clarification, Ryan A. Raymond, would help a lot. And so I'm looking here. My last video was hard to SEO because it's called different things in the UK and the USA. And that's views from the higher search term. Okay, well, that's a good clarification. So Neil, aka the Urban Explorer, could you let me know what you were targeting and what it's called in the UK versus what it's called in America? So that would just help me a little bit. So as I look here, what I would say to Paul Peck, and the reason I'm bringing up Paul Peck is because he gave me that super chat. Again, thank you, Paul. I really do appreciate it. I'd like to see you show up because I know Paul easily could, right? But one thing I don't know if you're focusing on heavily is maybe just drywall very, very easy at the beginning, right? So like we have drywall installation. And like if I look up installation, this is going to give us different, but we're still going for that initial search term, right? Like if I look here, we're still in a highly searched thing. It makes a lot of sense. Maybe you break it down. If I were you, Paul, I would literally find a way to find, and you may have a video on this, maybe it just goes into like a playlist or SEO and like how you function this. I would literally do drywall for every room possible in a house. And maybe you don't have that because I know the way you kind of do it is based around your business. But honestly, for the search alone, if you can find a way to cover every single room in a house that would need drywall, you've tapped into something great. And then you can do drywall installation, and then it can be a series, but you don't call it that in the videos, like you focus it. But then the playlist can go up in search. You can actually start ranking for drywall itself, and then you can expand past what you kind of normally do. And I really do think that'd be game changing for you, Paul. Mott fail in the UK. In the US, it's a yearly safety check, but some states don't have it at all. So I'll type in Mott fail. Fiesta fails the Mott. So searches per month is about 89.8K. So if I look here, that's kind of where I'd start. Cute furry friends video says, appreciate the help you have given. Thank you so much. I do appreciate the super chat. I'm going to go ahead and transition because I realize I'm not, but thank you so much. It does mean a lot to me. So here we are transitioning back, right? Like the mini failed, it's Mott, here's why. So I don't know what the Mott is particularly. And Ryan A. Raymond, I will get to your question, merch by Amazon. I'll kind of take a look at that. So Mott fail in the UK. In the US, it's a yearly safety check. So let's type in yearly safety check. So yeah, for you, it might make more sense. So Mott matters, vehicle safety inspection. I failed my Mott badly. My question would be, if you're going for Mott fail, right? Like this, you're going to have to either tell me how not, like here's how I'd focus this. I'm not sure what the video it is itself. I don't think I've seen this one, most likely because, for example, I kind of like when you install Wi-Fi in your van, or I like when you kind of showcase where you go in the van. Mott fail to me doesn't interest me, but that's just me personally. Obviously, if I'm more into the van life and this is something I'm like care about, I'd say Mott fail is more of a search term than it would be. So like if I'm looking here, right, like what are people looking for in the related searches? Fail funny, emission diesel, CO2 high, fail for engine light. What did you title this video exactly, Neil? Because that can help me in helping you a little more. And while you're doing this, since I know this is around Mott fail, I'll go ahead and kind of go and look at merch by Amazon and go back to Ryan A. Raymond. I've been hitting the keyword merch by Amazon and its related terms. This would be a sub niche for print on demand. So merch by Amazon, which is actually something I've been looking into, which is actually a really good thing that you came in here, Ryan A. Raymond. And Dessert Geek says, Ryan A. Raymond, would it make sense for a video comparing MBA versus other options like Printful, get SEO from other keywords, where you're at it? I definitely agree with that, Dessert Geek. So looking here, merch by Amazon, you're going for the print on demand, but this is just a way people know, right? Like right away, I'm seeing a lot of people with high SEO knowledge, right? Like anything like this you're gonna be competing with people that really know their SEO. So merch by Amazon, while it's got a lot of search results, you're really competing with all of these other people, right? So I'm not sure if this is like, maybe you said you're going by the sub one, right? Like merch by Amazon t-shirt design. Hello, Christina. Great to see you here. Right, so this has 460 results. You know, it's a little easier comparatively. Again, if you're going on that print, so here we are, right? Merch by Amazon, beginners tips. So right here, you're number 11, Ryan A. Raymond. I'm just saying your whole name because it's your channel name. If you would like just me to call you Ryan, let me know. But like, I'm seeing you a little further down, right? So on top of these highly searched terms, you're a little further down than just maybe someone else. Is making memes and gaming videos a good way to grow your channel? It's a good way to make what is called hub content, right? So like people who like memes and games will get it. But if you're trying to grow your channel, how would I search for that? And who are you competing with, right? Like PewDiePie, Meme King, I would say that's great for your like people who know you, but for search, the Mr. L, it becomes a lot harder. So your ranking for Ryan, like when I look up merch by Amazon beginner tips, how to design and sell original t-shirts, you're ranking for that, which is good. When I go back to merch by Amazon, you said you're doing the other one, so I'm going to look up tutorial, right? Because I, in theory, should see number of searches per month, 610. There is some traction here, you know, but as I look, if you're on the print by demand, merch by Amazon's a good way. I kind of like Dessert Geek's idea of comparing, right? Because merch by Amazon, maybe pros and cons, right? Like maybe people care about that. Maybe even if they don't, you're still targeting the merch by Amazon, and maybe you are talking about something that really, you know, isn't talked about much. Like Texas Gal Treasures here found a like pros and cons of each platform, right? So, or Printful versus merch by Amazon. So maybe you just focus on the pros and cons of that one specifically. So, hello, Kathy Fick. Great to see you. Secret Day Cuisine says, hello, Andrew. Like 10. Thank you. I do appreciate that. But as I'm seeing here, Ryan, the more we kind of look into it, you're focusing on print by demand. You've identified that merch by Amazon is something people search. But my thing is, when you're going for the merch by Amazon, unless you make like a hard dedicated push to this, it's one of those things where when you make a video series on this, my only fear is that this might easily be what I would call a resource channel where they come to you one time. What's the reason I would come back to you once I get the information? Right? Or you're going to teach me how to optimize selling more merch, things like that. So Ryan A. Raymond says, I have 125 merch by Amazon focused videos so far. Okay. So with that, how are you converting me to go to another video after I watch one? Like, what is the proposition to check out another merch by Amazon video from you? And if I can't see that clearly in the video, then how is a viewer? So that'd be my main question there. Cooking with Josh and Babe says, hello, welcome. Happy to have you here in the stream. As I look here, I want to go back to Neil's Ministry of Transport Road Safety Test. So let's go there. Ministry. So I will say Ministry of Transportation. I mean, there are a lot of video, like people searching for this. And then we can do vans. Maybe like focusing a little bit more on what you're doing specifically. The search really isn't there for it. Like when you say MOT, I'm seeing more searches for MOT. So maybe you call it MOT. Maybe you focus on it like MOT and then you put in parentheses, you know, Ministry of Transportation, and then you put fail. Like the mini failed, it's MOT, here's why. Like that's compelling. Like, okay, I know it failed, it's MOT, why? And then obviously like we see the fail here, like we see the fail here. Like nobody like MOT Day. Now I like it even less, right? Like it's compelling in the idea that like you're ranking even here. Like if I look here, you're getting that new tag. So you're already showing up for MOT fail. So I see vehicle inspection fail, save money on garage repairs. I would say instead of vehicle safety inspection fail, I would maybe focus a little bit more on the MOT, give it a shot. Because if you failed the MOT specifically, and that's what the vehicle is truly about, I would say going after vehicle safety inspection fail might not be the best one. Another thing you got to look at when you're competing, like you do have a shorter video, which means people can more likely easily watch yours compared to everything else here. Another thing I would say is like when I look here, like the fail is highlighted, failed safety inspection, it kind of almost blends in with the background. And yes, I see Urban Explorer, but I don't, I can see fail, right? Like I can easily understand that. I see yours and I don't get that failed right away. So I just can easily kind of go over it. iFund Chris, we'll get to channel reviews later in it. Right now we're kind of focusing on the SEO side. Hi everyone coming into the stream. Don't forget to hit that like button. Thank you, Cube Furry Friends. Do appreciate it. Ryan A. Raymond says, maybe it's time to stop doing so many of my tutorial videos live. Would it make sense YouTube would suppress an older live video on the same topic? So Hello, Josephine Desmet. I'm doing well. My question is, if you're doing all those reviews live, how many people are watching all the way through? I don't think YouTube is suppressing it per se. A lot of people are saying, YouTube's suppressing my content. No, your content's not meeting the barrier to entry that YouTube wants. It's not suppressing your content. It's just not going to put... Like, here's the thing. You got to think of YouTube as if it were you, right? Like, if you were making videos, like, take the YouTube out of it. Like, if you were putting something out there, you're selling something. And one product, when 4 out of 10 people saw it, they bought it. Versus another product with 1 out of 10 people saw it, or 10 people saw it, only 1 would buy it. You'd focus more on the 4 than the 1. YouTube's focusing on those people that are giving that 4 out of 10 compared to the 1 out of 10. Depending on how long your live is and how long people are watching, Ryan, could really depend how your videos perform. Doing it with Jason said, Ryan, I have a few live tutorials that got quite a bit of views. But is that due to the live there, Jason, or is it after the fact? And if it is after the fact, how much of the watch percentage are they actually watching would be my question. Doing too many live streams, people will just see you as a live stream channel, says Cute Furry Friends videos. I would say it depends how you focus the live stream, right? Like this one, people know it's a weekly live stream. They know that they can get help on questions they may have on the YouTube platform. And I try to focus it on more helpful, where my videos itself focuses more on filmmaking, because I think before you can even get on YouTube, you have to have your content quality down first. I always say that SEO can't save a bad crafted video. So I try to focus this channel on hurdles in the video or filmmaking process so you can overcome them to create better content, right? So Ryan says, I guess I get 25% completion on my longer videos, 7-minute average view durations. Got to bring that up. Typically videos are 10 to 30 minutes. I would see if cutting down the video length could help a lot there. I would say if there's a lot of information to cover, make it a series, but you don't put it like part 1 of a series. You would put, like, you just title it what it is. In the video, you let them know, hey, if you want more, check it out, and see that way. Because a lot of times, kind of going back to what I was telling Dessert Geek, is that the more information you put it, right? Like if I'm coming in on part 3 of a series, the less likely I am to watch that video, and I'll probably click someone else's. So make it easy as possible for the viewer to see your specific video, because the more specific you make that, the more chance they are to kind of coming through. Doing it with Jason says, a few of the live tutorials I made have around 10 live viewers a year later, now up to 20K. So that's actually really good. Because if you can get 20K, then that means that the people that do stay watch a long period of time. So I would say, obviously every video is different, but if you are doing like live streams on the same topic over and over, you've got to find ways to make it different enough for people to come in. So that's why when I do these, like I'll focus on channel reviews as an overall theme, but I might do something like today where I'm taking in audience suggested SEO, which if any of you would like to suggest a term, I'll do my best to help you SEOify it, as I was saying, and to which I will show you. Like, for example, here in the Mott fail, Neil was asking, you know, vehicle safety inspection fail, save money on garage parts. Well, this almost feels like they're 2 different videos, right? Like, vehicle safety inspection fail, and then this is a video, and then save money on garage parts is a separate video. Like, I want to know why more so it failed than, like, save money on garage parts or garage repairs, I should say, is important, but I don't necessarily see the correlation to the first one, right? But if I look at the other ones, I'm more compelled to click because it makes me wonder, why did they fail, right? I don't know, and I kind of want to. Where this one, I just see the part, I see you, it's by you, but failed safety inspection, I see save money on garage repairs. I'm not as likely, right? And that's the thing. So it's like, you got to figure out what people are searching for when it, right? So like, why did you fail the Mott? So like, Mott failed on headlights, Mott failed on windscreen, right? Like, Mott failed funny. Like, I know you can be very humorous there, Neil. So that's something you got to kind of consider, because where you're being put is in this Mott fail, right? Versus I'm seeing fail, like it's highlighting fail. Now, if I type in vehicle safety inspection fail, right? And I actually put it in the right search bar. Vehicle safety inspection fail. Compared to Modfail, it's not that good. And yes, you're ranking for it, but that could be due to the weight of this new tag since it was published 20 hours ago. And what happens if that new tag is gone? Will you still be ranking? Well, that's kind of where looking at the weighted score for this, like right now, the minimum past the new tag is 179 views. If you don't manage to get that 179 views, you'll drop from this first page of search, and then that video may not go anywhere. So that's something you have to consider there, Neil. It's not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying that it's very confusing because if I'm YouTube, right, you tell me this is about a vehicle safety inspection fail. Got it. That's what I'm focusing this on. Then you put save money on garage repairs. Well, which is it? Do I focus on helping people who are trying to, learn about vehicle safety inspection fail, or are you trying to help people save money on garage parts? And how are these two linked? Because YouTube is either yes or no check mark. It's a 0 or it's a 1. So that's why I always have to tell people when it comes to kind of looking at that stuff. It's not that I do think that you know what the video is about, but it's when you make it so easy for YouTube to tell what it's about that it's kind of where you start finding that, that success repeatedly, because the easier you make it for YouTube, the easier in the long run you're going to be making it for yourself, really. Q Furry Friend says, I can't see the ranking on the mobile app, but I don't think I'm ranking. If you don't see rankings on the mobile app, but you're not showing it on the computer, then it might be a fair bet to say that you may not be ranking. So without getting to see more of, without seeing the whole picture, it's hard to say. So that's kind of be where I am. But right now, I've helped a few people with their SEO questions, but final call for the SEO question here. If you'd like me to help you SEOify a video, please put it in the chat, and I will do that. If you're watching the replay, keep around, because any of these things I've learned, like if you're a location-based channel, but you do kind of something else, the location may not matter as much as we learned kind of with Dessert Geeks, where really it's the dessert that's going to have the kind of focus. 30-day review says, me please. What's the SEO term? So that'd be my question. So me please, if that is your term, I would say you're probably competing with Taylor Swift's Me. Actually, I have no idea what me please would even show. Well, that's great 30-day reviews, but that's not SEO reviews like I'm trying to do. So unless it's around the SEO, can't really help at the moment. So me please, so please me makes sense. YouTube's thinking that you misspelled the popular song Me Please Me by Bruno Mars and Cardi B. If you don't believe it's popular, 271 million views is quite a lot. I don't think anyone would doubt, if any one of us got a video with 271 million views tomorrow, I don't think we'd be upset. Well, depending if it makes sense. I think if Christina got it on her cleaning pee video, she might be very confused. She'd be like, why? All right, I see one from Tim Wood, and I see one from 30-day reviews. I will go ahead and type in shaving. So what about shaving? Because right now you're competing with a brand, right? And people recognize this brand pretty easily. They're going to trust this brand, which is going to be your main thing, right? But I know that you have facial hair, right? Shaving face. It sounds like saving face. How I shave my face, 4-year update. And then we kind of break it down, right? So I'm going to assume that you are going shaving face men or at home. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe you have other ways. But maybe this gives you collaboration potential. So you're saying how to clean a safety razor? Let's first look, are people looking for that, right? Learn how to shave, safety razor versus cartridge, women, head shave, review for beginner, blades, tutorials. So how to clean a safety razor. This is what people are looking for when they type it in. I would say if you're going to do a video on safety razors, you may want to do one on how to clean it, but maybe you go safety razors for beginners. You talk about kind of the best one to do and how to clean. What is the best beginner safety razor, or what is safety razor for beginners, everything you need to know, something like that. And you can talk about cleaning in there, but it's really how to clean it sounds like it'd be in a spot of beginners, right? Now, if I just do how to clean safety razor, we might see results. Not bad, not necessarily as high as I'd like. Like, I'm seeing that the search volume is closer to the red than it is the yellow. The competition, there's not a lot of necessarily competition in the optimization strength, meaning that if you come in with a well-optimized video, you have a good chance. What this kind of shows me, though, is that if the minimum barrier to entry is 529 views, that the search isn't necessarily there for something that I'd recommend you go for. So that would be what I say there. I would say if you're going to go do a video on safety razor, go where people are searching. And if we look here, safety razor for beginners was one we saw. And, you know, the barrier to entry is a little higher, but you'll have that new tag, which is helping. Like, we have best safety razor for beginner, safety rates. Like, these are things people are actually looking for. And I could easily see how to clean it could be a part of this. Or you make a series around this, because if you just focus on how to clean a safety razor, I'm not seeing what I would recommend to go for there, because you might get views, but it's not going to be as many as you want. And then you have to think, how long will that take to convert subscribers? Like, that could be a great piece of hub content, but it's like, are you trying to grow your channel or create just a piece of content to have another piece up and maybe people find it? That's kind of the struggle you're at. I need to rank for electric skateboard, says Tim Wood. So, all right, let's take a look at electric skateboard. Welcome, Mike Phillips, who made it. Electric skateboard, right? So here's kind of what we're seeing. DIY, skateboard 2019, cheap, tricks, off the road. So really, what are you going to be doing with this electric skateboard, right? Because search is there, like excellent search. Competition is poor. Optimization strength is good, meaning that there are some optimized videos, but question for the Search Explorer, you have 45% for your titles. Is good or not? What's the color? Secret Day Cuisine. And based on that, it's probably going to be orange to yellow. How would you personally go and drive? Like, if you drive and you yield and stop at a yellow, I would say probably for you, no. If you're like me and you floor it, I would say go ahead and go for it. But it's all based on how you are as a person. I mostly do reviews and rides. Okay, so electric skateboard review. Let's go there, right? Let's go where the people are. So when we look here, there's about 8,000 people searching for this a month. Since this is what you do, ideally what we'd like to see from you, Tim Wood, is some of your videos showing up here, right? If not, I understand. Like, you're competing against a lot of people. So looking here, when people are looking for it, like what YouTube is saying here, summary of all electric skateboards under 500, the best electric skateboard 2018. There's really not a video that's like electric skateboard review 2019. So maybe that's something, or maybe even you do one for 2020, right? Like 2020 is coming, like you get on that trend kind of early. So the barrier to entry on this term is 685 views. If you know your videos can get 685 views, then I'd say maybe do electric skateboard review 2020, get on that trend early, because like 2019 is pretty much almost over and YouTube will have populated data. So when people are like, new year, new me, or maybe like Black Friday, maybe you can talk about electric skateboards to look for Black Friday, or finding ways. You say you do mostly reviews and rides. Well, if it's all electric skateboard based around, you got to go where people are looking for, right? So like electric skateboard review cheap. People want a cheap electric skateboard. Maybe you can talk about like, here's the best cheap electric skateboards, or things to watch out for electric cheap skateboards, right? Like maybe you do electric skateboard cheap electric skateboard reviews dash are the savings worth it? I don't know. Are they worth it? Click, right? So like if I look here, what's the compelling here? 10 best cheap electric skateboards. Summary of electric skateboards under 500. Top 5 best electric skateboards, the cheapest. So like this is what you're competing against, right? And you need to compel them to click versus what's around. So like best cheap electric skateboard for tricks, right? Like that's a specific need. And then this is easily like electric skateboard can then go within a playlist. Like what I try to tell people, and this is it, like if someone is looking up skateboarding stuff, the easier you make it for them to watch a lot of videos on the subject. Because here's the thing, electric skateboard could be an affiliate sale for you. So that could be like, hey, whatever skateboard they decide to get, if you can be the one that sells it to them, that's good for you. Now, I'm not sure, the affiliate sales, I'm not sure if they're on Amazon. I'm not sure how each different electric skateboard company does it. But in theory, not only could you help them within like the review you're doing, but if you can get people to buy from you, then imagine the possibilities. That is powerful and can help you pass the AdSense and keyword is sense that YouTube is going to give you anyway. So hopefully for you, Tim Wood, that can help just a little bit, because I am seeing there's a good amount. If I were to do this, again, I would do electric skateboard review. I would focus on the cheap. I would focus on maybe like looking here, like these are things people are searching for. I can look for the webs. I can look for video topics. Like if I'm looking here, right, like people are looking for skateboard electric. Like there are different brands. Like maybe you can kind of focus on the different brands. Like maybe you can do Evolve electric skateboard versus skateboard electric. And like these are things people are searching for. So that's something I'd say. Midnight Madness says, I know I will be starting 2020 tough truck videos before 2020 even starts, which is smart because it's pretty much here. Tim Wood says, yeah, I do Evolve mostly. See, so like here we are, Evolve electric skateboard review. So I see Austin Keane. I'm seeing a lot of like high optimized things here. So you're kind of competing with some well optimized SEO things. Like if you can't get almost 4,000 views, I would say find another way to do this. So like Evolve electric skateboard review, is it right for you? And then like maybe you're really going to have a good compelling thumbnail and title here. And that content, because you're competing with people that can average like 4,000, it's going to have to be really, really tight. Because when I'm seeing what you're competing against are people that are pretty tight. Now, right here, right? You have Evolve Carbon GT review after 9 months daily of use. You're right here, number 24. So you are on the first 30, but you're pretty low comparatively. Now, maybe for that term specifically, like you're crushing it, right? But you kind of went very specific on the skateboard. So Evolve Carbon GT review. So maybe if I look up Evolve Carbon GT review, I'll see differently. Probably will. You probably will have higher in this ranking. But if we look here, like the competition is low, the search volume's low, the optimization strength is good. Like I'm hoping, like you own 3 here. So like, yeah, what I'd say is for you, Tim Wood, like you're dominating this search term. The problem is it's not that searched for, right? So like, yeah, you're doing great comparatively to the other terms. But the problem I'm seeing is the search for this is kind of here. But there are other terms I'd focus a little bit more on. And for that, I would say maybe consider, saying going for maybe you can do like electric skateboard for beginners, Carbon GT right for you or something like that, right? Like people are probably looking up electric skateboards for beginners, right? Electric skateboards for beginners, right? Best electric, right? And then here's an easy one, right? So we know there's search for it, and maybe whatever skateboard you have can be the answer to this question. And it's finding those things where people are searching for that really matters. Secret Day Cuisine says, thank you, Andrew, for your video. Well done. See you next time. Bye, everyone. Thank you, Secret Day Cuisine. Do appreciate you coming on by. So I saw from here, I want to make sure I pull up. I think that should be 30 days. 30 days have September, April, June, and November. iFund Chris, 30-day reviews. We are into the channel review portion. So we have taken a look at some SEO terms, so hopefully this will help you out. But don't you leave. I know you might be thinking about it. If you've made it this far in the video, I do appreciate you, but we got some channel reviews coming up. So if you would like a channel reviews, right now we're focusing on free reviews. However, as always, paid super chat reviews do take priority because they are giving a little more to get a little more time. That being said, I'm going to be looking at iFundChris than 30-day reviews. So if anyone would like a channel review, let me know. And yeah, let's get into it. So, because iFundChris hasn't really told me anything specifically that they want me to take a look at, what I would say is I'm just going to give a general channel review. So, iFundChris, subscribe, fun video to make everyone laugh. My first question, and this is just not knowing the channel, is what type of fun videos, right? Like if they're sketch, I see puppets. Are you like, because I see what appears to be a puppet here, is this like a puppet based channel? Is this more like a vlog channel? Is it more random? I don't know. So because I don't know and it's not really described here, it becomes a little confusing. I also would like fun videos to make everyone laugh. Well, some people believe when you're targeting everyone, you're targeting no one. So I guess it goes a little bit confusing on who you're going for. So I see comedy, end of the month comedy videos. All right, so I see comedy as a part of it, and I can tell by the everyone to make everyone laugh. I would say if I like the idea of, you know, putting the iFundChris comedy, but when it comes to, you know, making people find your content, you're either going to have to find ways that you can be searchable and also find ways that people can easily come back to you. Like you have update of life vlogs. I do appreciate that you have TubeBuddy here. I see you have Nick Nimmin. So clearly you're following a lot of the people that help on that. You do, it says fun videos that'll make you laugh. That is an actual, like, I kind of like that a little because it'll give you that value proposition. Paul Peck Drywall 2 says I'd lose that Facebook logo on the left side of the banner. Thank you, Ryan A. Raymond, who says thanks for the SEO tips and feedback for a review. I appreciate feedback for reviews. Appreciated. I appreciate your videos. Thank you. Of course. So Ryan A. Raymond is added to the queue right there. We will look at your channel in just a little bit. So as I'm looking here, the problem I'm having is if I'm YouTube and I see funny cat in the bag, fun video to make everyone laugh, iFundChris take a pie in the face, update of life vlog, I don't necessarily know how to like promote this as YouTube, because if I were asked, YouTube wants to be able to know a place to put you. And so right now you're saying comedy, and because comedy is so wide, it becomes very difficult to kind of sort you where YouTube would, right? Like YouTube is a sorting system for people looking for things. Nomad Unbroken says, hello, peoples, welcome. So my overall review on your channel would be, Chris, is make it easy for YouTube to know where to put you. Because as it is, I'm seeing a lot of randomosity, and I'm seeing like puppet seems to be kind of a common theme. Like, are you going to be focusing on puppets? Are you focusing on toy stores? Like, the easier you make it for YouTube to be able to identify what you do and know where to kind of help you out, the better it will be for yourself and your growth. However, I just say a couple of those changes here, you know, make sure that you're making it easy for YouTube to recommend you. And because of that, and because I'm seeing kind of like a lot of stuff here, I want to see like in your about, like when did you start your channel? You know, you've been doing this for almost 3 years now, coming up. And what I would say is welcome to the official fun video to make as a website for fun and updated site. So 24/7 hours. By putting our YouTube channel keywords, YouTube could easily see this as keyword stuffing. So be very careful about that. You have a schedule, but it's not actually in your banner. So again, I would recommend putting some of the information that you have back here to the forefront. But overall, because you're still, you know, kind of working on it, you're under 100, you know, you're under 100. I'm seeing 23 subscribers. You know, I don't see like 100 uploads of consistent stuff. So I'd say you're still like trying stuff out. So what I'd say is like find something that you really enjoy, Chris, and focus on things like that. Midnight Madness puts up a great point. He says put your actual channel tags in the channel tag section if they aren't already. We can actually check that out. And they seem to be. Like, let's go to the about with that. Yeah, I think they are. So if they're already there, they're not needed to be repeated. Overall, I would just say because you're still newer to the platform, I'd say come back once you have a little bit more here. And overall, I think, you have a lot of good things here. Like you've identified some things and you're having fun on the platform, and really that matters a lot. So for right now, I'm going to say NA. Massive Fitness says, love these reviews. Well, thank you. Nomad Unbroken says, this is my live stream changer to get live streams away from Nomadic Bike, says Nomad Unbroken. Interesting. So if I look at Ryan A. Raymond, thank you for watching. Subscribe for more. Merch by Amazon, print on demand, tips, tutorials, and more. Subscribe. So I see the thank you for watching, subscribe for more, and subscribe. So like clear call to actions. First question, subscribe for more what? I'm assuming you mean merch by Amazon, print on demand, tips, tutorials, and more. The problem I have is you keep saying more, but you're not being really like, I'm guessing it's merch by Amazon and print on demand, but you told me that the merch by Amazon is really the ploy to get more people into print on demand. I might put, thank you for watching, subscribe to learn, subscribe for more print on demand, tips and tutorials and more to make more sales with the merch you love or something like that, right? Like there's got to be a more clear value for the audience, because right now, thank you for watching. All right, you're welcome. Subscribe for more what? I'm assuming you mean merch by Amazon, print on demand, tips, tutorials, and more. Okay, subscribe. Like, but what's the benefit for me as a user? Like if I'm trying to make sales, then maybe you tell me that. When are you going to try to help me? Why should I trust you? All of these aren't really answered, and I'm actually going to change the color to this to green because, let's go ahead and be a little different. So, like, why should I trust you here? I don't know. And it makes it a little different. Desertgeek says, I like the color contrast, but the font was less vintage style faded. It's hard to read for me, which is a good point. It is a little difficult to read. I like that you're here, but ironically, right? Like, I see this, and I see your beard. And why is your beard kind of hidden? Like I see your beard, right? But ironically here, it's kind of hidden. So that'd be what I'd say there. If I go to your about page, which I will, if you're looking to get help, so right off the bat, I'm seeing kind of like a SEO kind of thing I would recommend immediately. This is where you can welcome them. Like if people are reading your description, welcome them. Hello, I'm Ryan A. Raymond. And then I'd put comma, and if you are looking to get help with with your merch by Amazon business, then this is the place for you to be. Good. Subscribe today so you never miss a live stream tutorial, perhaps an edited quick tip video. Again, value to you, not the person watching. A common kind of thing I saw here, also within here. Print on demand is expanding every day, and Amazon appears to be the heavyweight in the space at the time, and it's a great opportunity for you to start a t-shirt business online, start making money. This is way more compelling to me than any of this, right? Like you front load on the value instead of right now the value is all to you and not the person. But I promise you, if you are a person that starts bringing money to other people, they're going to come back and they're going to remember that. Like if you help me make money and change my life, I will remember you. But if all I see, which is right now, it's a lot of you, a lot of benefit for you, not so much for me as a user. So the first thing I would say is popular uploads doesn't make it easier for where I should start on your channel. Like, okay, good that you have popular and here's your recents. Merch by Amazon reviews of listing in question order. I don't know. Best of videos, live merch, Amazon highlight videos. How does this help me get started? Research design list, step-by-step merch by Amazon tutorial free course. This should be the first thing you feature. Anytime you have a free course, you should probably bring that up because your value is immediately there. I also think if you're going to have playlist descriptions, you need to, and this is something I told 30 Day Reviews, and he said he's worked on it, so I'm excited to see how he's worked on it. I would then maybe change. I'd always recommend people this. Yes, these can show up in suggested, but they don't show up in search. Create your own playlist, curate it yourself, and then you have something that you can constantly make sure is doing it. And then you have all of these like amazing things like merch by Amazon beginner tips. Like this is how I'd order. I'd order this number 1 or maybe this one number 1. I would do 1 or 2, and both of these could be interchangeable. Obviously, if you have a free course, getting people on that where they know it's a course within the playlist is important. And then after that, again, you've got to target the people you're trying to help immediately and make it clear in what you're doing. Now, for me, that's kind of what I would say there. And this is something I'm working on, like on my own personal channel too. So it's like something I'm still struggling with and something I'm getting more and more, right? But that's something I'd say. Like if people want to see your your recent uploads, like I think having your recent uploads is important. If you want that to be number 1, then make it Ryan A. Raymond recent uploads. So at least people understand, oh, this is for his channel. It makes clear sense why it's number 1. So what I want to do now is take a look at like your most popular videos. Hello, Sierra, the chosen one, who says, yay, Andrew, happy to have you here. If I look here, I see 5 low competition niches, depending how you use it, for merch by Amazon. My first one, how I made my first 100 sales. What I would say is, I'm going to search this. Includes paid promotion. This seems to be a live stream. You know, we have merch by Amazon, print on demand, Amazon merch for beginners, how to escape tier 25. It seems a little confusing. So is this about Amazon merch tee design, or is it merch for beginners, or is it merch keywords, or is this, you know, you have beginners twice, how to sell on merch by Amazon, how to be successful on merch by Amazon, how to tier up merch by Amazon. So do you see how there's so many different competitive things where it's almost uncertain what you're trying to go for? Another thing I'm seeing is do not do this. So many people do this. You get the first 200 characters by putting in the enter. You are blowing this opportunity. It looks nice, but it doesn't help in the optimization standpoint. I want you to don't put the space. Utilize those first 200. After the 200, you can put that nice little space if you want, but YouTube is searching that first 200 for it. Nomad Unbroken says, I have Nomad Unbroken uploads list and Nomad Unbroken live streams, and trash can the YouTube lists. A small description of my channel and the Nomad Unbroken list. And again, those can, if people are searching for your channel, like that can show up. Another thing is, since you're going after your name, if people do remember your name, you would want, Ryan, your most recent uploads to show. So what I'm seeing, and it's kind of this constant confusion, is there's so much value to you, Ryan, and not enough clear value to the user. And I can see it in your banner. I can see it in your description. I don't know if it's in your videos. I would say probably not. I'm hoping anyway it's not. But I want more clear value to the person who's going to watch you, because you don't want them to just watch one video and leave. You want them to come back to you. When people hear merch by Amazon, they're like, man, Ryan A. Raymond, I have a question. He probably has the answer. Go. Where as it is, it's like, he helped me one time, but he was kind of, I didn't really feel it. Next. Like, that's the worst thing you can have happen. So really front load the value to the user and give them a compelling reason besides more to come back. And once you figure that out, or figure out how to word it, you'll really elevate what you've got. So Ryan, hopefully that gives you a little bit of ideas of how to focus on it. I would say right now, your content seems front loaded to you as the creator and not to me as the viewer watching, trying to increase my merch by Amazon sales. So if I were to give you a channel grade, which I will go ahead and do, I'd probably give you, I see some, decent understandings. You do a lot of live. I see you have custom thumbnails. There's a lot of things you're doing well and some things you're missing. I would give you a B-, and that could easily go up at any moment. It's like you have the foundations for a successful channel. It's just, will you make those changes needed to be successful? And that you can go back through your older content and find a clearer focus on the streams per se. Thank you. That was great. Time to go burn it down and reorganize, says Ryan A. Raymond. Of course. And I genuinely want to help anyone who asks for a review, right? So when I give you a review, if you ask me to be brutal, I will be brutal, because I will be brutal, but also give ideas of how I would change it, right? Because it's one thing to be brutal, but if you don't give a takeaway, right, a thing you can do, then what does it matter? Right? Because anyone can be harsh, but can you be harsh yet helpful? Can you be critical yet steer someone in the right direction? And hopefully, Ryan, I was able to help do that for you. Hugh Furry Friends says, Furry Friends Videos, I should add the video, says, nice thumbnails. Massive Fitness says, I'm watching from the UK. It's 10:30. What time is it with you guys? It is 2:35 p.m. in LA. That's pretty generous. Haha, thank you, says Ryan A. Ramus. So, happy to help. Thank you for letting me have the opportunity. Now it is time for 30-day reviews. All right, popular men's grooming product reviews. This playlist has some of my I would say, instead of I would focus on 30-day reviews. Like, if you're going to put yours, at least go for the SEO. This playlist has some of the most popular grooming videos that you may find useful to look your best. When it comes to trying to get someone to follow you, you may find, may is a word I'd go against, because this is popular men's grooming, and you can see that there are reviews here. I would say I would redo this playlist has some of 30-day reviews, most popular grooming videos that are useful, that can help, that are helpful. I would maybe say are helpful, or that are useful to help you look your best. Because then you are then giving, excuse me, nose got stocked up. Then you are giving more value to that user immediately, right? And you're giving the SEO front load. So but I am happy that you have them at all. Again, if you're going to, like, I always tell people this, it's better to go 50% than have 0%, because at least at a 50% here, you can get to 100. If you have nothing, then you got to start from the bottom. Top favorite men's grooming product. This playlist has again, you're focusing on the top favorite men's, not sure if that's a typo, grooming product in many categories. I'd be a little more specific for the SEO side here. You put many categories, so maybe we go, I'm seeing all mustache waxes in the first little bit here. So if it's going to be many categories from a playlist structure standpoint, unless you've organized these playlists using the TubeBuddy playlist feature, I'd probably change that to make it actually many categories. Because as you can see, right, top 3, mustache wax, and then mustache wax doesn't really fit in the many categories. It just seems like a mustache wax playlist, which ironically we go into a mustache wax playlist here. So, do you need a stiff wax or a soft wax for your manly handlebar mustache? Well, here are all the wax videos that I have tried and reviewed. So, here are all the wax videos that I have tried. So, it makes it sound like you've reviewed the mustache wax videos instead of the waxes. So another problem I'm seeing is I have tried and reviewed. Since you are 30-day reviews, I would say use that as your kind of like brand name, so that if people are searching for 30-day reviews, you show up. Again, that's what I would say. Again, we want to be searchable here too. Whether beard balm reviews, I'd put, again, find a way to put that in here. I'd say beard balm reviews - whether your beard is wild and crazy or just needs a little help, this playlist will help you figure out what beard balm is best for you to get under control. This one is by far the best playlist I'm seeing where the value is immediately present to the user, and for search it would do a little better. Mike Phillips says, manscape your emotions, click here. Too much? Beard oil, looking for beard oil, perfect. and this playlist is for you. Great, straight to the point, no fluff, and used around 30 days before. Shining Star, Sound the Cavalry. We've got a great optimized playlist, folks. That is my favorite one thus far. Only thing I would say is when it comes to it, oh crap, I was missing it. LOL back. 30-day reviews is like, oh no. You better watch that replay. To those watching live or in the replay, shame on 30-day reviews. Hashtag shame. Joking. But welcome back. You can always watch the replay. Looking here, this is by far your best so far of your playlist optimizations. So again, front loaded with value, really kind of hones in on it. Only thing I would say is this kind of looks like two L's, but I know it's probably a capitalized I, because if I were to take a guess. Looking here, trimming and shaving product reviews. From trimming the stash to shaving the head, this playlist includes all things hair, trimming, and shaving. Again, focus on that product reviews and like restating it in a natural way. Maybe there's a way. From trimming the stash to shaving the head, this playlist includes all things hair, trimming, all products involving hair, finding a way to put that more naturally. I think you can do that. Soap reviews. This playlist contains cleansing soap reviews. So you put cleansing soap. Why not just put it here then? If it's to clean your hair, beard, body, this is the playlist that you will find. Find out my thoughts. I'd put 30-day reviews of soap, body bars, washes, and more here. 30-day review says that will be split into two playlists soon. Again, my favorite answer to that is your audience does not know that. They only know what they see on the channel. And then tools and EDC reviews. I know you said that you were trying to get away from tools. Not sure at that point. See, maybe something that you want to change later. So we'll see. Overall, though, playlists are improved. Rewatch it. You'll see what I said. There are a lot of the things where I would change the "my" to your channel name. It's the same idea, but for YouTube and the audience, it seems like you're calling yourself a brand, and it doesn't seem as selfish. Again, anytime we say "my," "me," "help me," "subscribe to me," like a better thing is like subscribe to me. No, subscribe to this channel, right? Like you are technically subscribing to me, but it's like subscribe to this channel if you genuinely believe that you want the best in my ability to help you grow. And on this channel, I believe that if I can, you can too. I want to help you overcome filmmaking hurdles so that you can create the best content possible. Like that is a value proposition, and it's to help you because I know I needed help when I started creating films, right? Like I went to film school, but I don't think you should have to go to film school if you want to create better videos. You shouldn't put yourself in massive debt. Thankfully, I am not in massive debt, but I know a lot of people aren't that fortunate. So it's like finding that. What about we? Again, 30-day reviews. I think the we is a missed SEO opportunity. Put 30-day reviews. You're going for SEO with playlists. If you're just writing a nice description of your playlist without SEO, you're missing the point. Playlist descriptions are like YouTube video descriptions. Find ways to organically put the keywords you've targeted in the videos in the playlist descriptions. Yeah, you can put a nice playlist description, but if you're not optimizing it for the search, then it really doesn't matter other than you're being polite. So optimize that playlist description by including words such as 30-day reviews instead of we or my, because people who are searching for that will be more likely searching for you. Like, how would you feel if mustache wax reviews here instead of like, here are all the videos that I think. So if someone puts 30-day reviews and this playlist showed up, you would not be mad. But, well, here are all the videos that 30-day reviews has tried and reviewed. So watch through them and find the one that works for you. But you see, find the one you think, again, you want more like, the best way I can describe it is more powerful, actionable words. So that's what I would say to you, 30-day reviews. But again, we have a little more time. who would like a channel review? If you're interested in one, please let me know. Always curious. 30-day review, since you asked for a playlist overhaul. I would say that you're on the right track. Easy B. I want to see that to an A. Again, optimize those descriptions a little better. And this is only on playlist. I mean, overall, your channel is pretty good. I think you know this. So that's what I would say there. 30-day reviews beyond unboxing, men's grooming, lifestyle, Friday uploads. I would maybe, again, critique, subscribe to become a better styled you. Or subscribe to become a more stylish man, or something like that. Again, really going on the value. Massive Fitness asks, can you be successful on YouTube without getting yourself on camera? Absolutely. How to Basic does it. A lot of the gaming channels did it before they ever revealed their face. Again, it's completely possible. Doesn't take much. What I would say is, if you are going to not show your face, there was actually a time on TubeBuddy where I didn't want to show my face. I started YouTube with a gaming channel. I originally did YouTube to keep my editing sharp, right? At least once I was in college. I tried it in 2007 just to like express myself, and that was a more pure time. I was also much younger. But the main point being is that if you are going after any of these things, right, I would say you don't have to show your face to be successful on YouTube. It makes it more personable, absolutely, but you can still be successful without showing your face. Now, if you are doing fitness, it's one of those things where usually people kind of like, depends on what you're doing within fitness, right? So it might be a little harder because fitness is such a personal thing. Like, you're talking about someone's body, their own personal physique. So it's one of those things where I would be curious why you're afraid to, but I understand being shy and things like that. Mike Phillips says, tired of being ugly, subscribe, because here's the channel that makes men beautiful. I mean, that's an approach. I don't know. That'd be up to 30-day reviews. So, cute furry friend video says, me please. Can I ask you for a particular phrase when you finish with the reviews, Andrew? 3D Plastic Fantasy, I believe you're asking for SEO phrase. Go for it. But I just want to make sure that cute furry friend videos is wanting a review. I know you left a super chat earlier, so if so, I want to make sure I give you that review. Little tongue in cheek. Fair. Again, it just depends. Does the audience expect and know that from that person, right? Like, if it's not abundantly clear, it could come off as conceited. And I don't know if that's the approach they're going for. So yeah, that would be that. Waiting for more people, but I'm enjoying the stream, and thank you everyone who is here. Thank you everyone who's left a super chat. Paul Peck, you know, we had Ryan A. Raymond, we had Cute Furry Friends videos. Thank you, Neo Christina, everyone who's come in. Nomad Unbroken, Massive Fitness, the Mr. L, 3D Plastic Fantasy. No worries, Nomad Unbroken. I would, but I can't super chat. My bank is frozen. All the best in resolving that circumstance. I've traveled and the bank has frozen on me, so I know what that is like. Okay. So we have a term, which is Crash Bandicoot. Ooh, Crash Bandicoot. So you were focusing on Crash Bandicoot, and you said making Crash Bandicoot with 3D pen, Crash Bandicoot art. Let's go with kind of a route, right? So Crash Bandicoot fan art, I would say, might make more sense, because that's kind of what you're doing. Searches per month is about 11,000, I'd say this is a really good one to target. Crash Bandicoot fan art. Maybe making Crash. So if I look at, I'm going to go with making Crash Bandicoot with 3D pen. Search volume is poor. It's got low competition. If I were to take a look at the bare minimum of entry, it's really low. 241. Like, yes, you can probably dominate for this, but not a lot of people will be searching for this 3D plastic fantasy. So with that in mind, I would say I know you're doing like Crash Bandicoot figure has good score. I think that would be a better one to go with, right? Like Crash Bandicoot figure. Searches per month is there. I think Crash Bandicoot figure make your own might be very enticing, right? Because then you're targeting people looking for the Crash Bandicoot figure anyway. So you're focusing on the value you're giving, and then you are then tossing it to them and how they can make their own or how you did it, right? So it's finding that way. There is search for it, but how will you make it compelling? 3D plastic fantasy. That's the question. Dessert Geek, thank you so much. Trying this again. It would be great to get in the review queue if you have time. And thank you, Andrew. Of course. Took a look at your search terms a little bit earlier. So cute furry friends videos, don't look at the about page. Do you want a review? That's my current question to you. I'm still a little confused on that. But hopefully 3D plastic fantasy, that helps you out a little bit. In the meantime, I'm going to take a look at Dessert Geek. All these tips are great, says the Mr. L. Thank you. I do appreciate it. So, bringing you awesome dessert adventures, Dessert Geek. Thursday travel videos, Saturday social eating shows, bonus videos on Tuesday. So, bringing you awesome dessert adventures. So, I know what you're doing. I know who you are. I know when you're doing it. But why should I subscribe to you? Always the question. Not very clear. So, bringing you awesome dessert adventures so you can come along. So you can enjoy a new sweet or something like that. Find a way to make that a little more clear. You know, we have mukbang with Mastodon at the Burke Museum preview. We have uploads. I would probably put Dessert Geek recent uploads instead of just relying on this. You have it for your popular uploads. You have it Dessert Geek's favorite Seattle desserts. I would maybe, in this case, say best Seattle desserts, because I saw that was something people were looking for. I don't think that's a bad one to target. I mean, you are niching it to your audience, where I think this is a little more broad and could go for a more general search term. Visiting Seattle as well, I would maybe Seattle, my hometown. I would put visiting Seattle, my hometown, just another way to keep that kind of consistent. So then you have your mukbangs and social eating shows, all the chocolate. I maybe would make that a little bit more specific to a search. Again, similarly with ice cream, I'd maybe make that a little bit more specific. Visiting Portland. A little confusing with the idea of the desserts. And life with oral allergy syndrome. This is very interesting to your core audience, I would say. So that's a good piece of hub content. What I'm noticing, though, is when it comes to the 3 H's, Hero, Help, and Hub, this one is your most searchable by far. If you can change it from Dessert Geeks to make it best Seattle desserts. Visiting Seattle is, again, hub content. Mukbang is hub content. All the chocolate can be helpful if you target it a different way. Similar with ice cream. Visiting Portland is helpful, but this one is hub content. You have more hub. I'd say you need a little bit more of a balance. It's one of those things where I'm seeing a lot of hub-based content, but not the helpful content is there, but it could be a little more optimized. And I think that, you know, the more you make it easier for someone else, that really does matter. So, where to find Seattle's best bubble tea? Get your boba fix. All right. So, Seattle's best bubble tea, killing it, dominating it for the search, right? Let's go Seattle best bubble tea. Let's see what the search is here. Pretty low. With that in mind, you're ranking for it. It's just, it may not be that search for, but like from an SEO standpoint, Dessert Geek, you were crushing it. But here's the thing, right? Outside of the up next, we have one video. And YouTube's only recommending one for you because it's focusing on boba tea, right? Or bubble tea. I call it boba, but bubble tea, right? So you've got to remember when it comes to how YouTube's going to look at this, if you have more drink videos or tea videos, maybe you make a playlist around tea. Again, going to drop you a like. Also, I should have watched this before I went to Seattle. I hope they do Seattle YouTube Day again. I would love to meet you if you could do it. But yeah, you're ranking in the search. The problem is not that many people are searching for it, right? Massive Fitness says, what does hub and hero content mean? I am so glad you asked that. In the description of this video, which you can watch after this, I have a video linked which talks about help, hero, and hub-based content. And each of them serve a different function. A very simplified version is helpful content, is content that helps someone who is searching for a question. So you're targeting YouTube search, meaning that if you have a question, my content is the helpful answer to that. Hub-based content is for those who are subscribed to my channel and want to see what I'm up to. So it's not necessarily the most search-friendly, but it's really there for my core subscribers. And then finally, there's hero content, which is kind of a combination of them. It's bigger targeted content, but that video kind of goes more in depth into it. The Mr. L says, Dessert Geek, those tags are amazing. They are, but the problem, going back to it, is are people searching for it? This one, on the other hand, Bubble Tea Seattle, is actually a little more searchable, and you're ranking number 2, so this kind of goes into my best guess is this doesn't invoke Seattle to me. And the best way I can describe it is, yes, I see boba. I see the bubble tea. What would be more effective is you holding boba against the skyline. And that would make me see, okay, I see the Seattle Space Needle. I see boba. This feels Seattle. I mean, let's put it this way, right? We cover this up. All right, like people are going to scroll past. Does this invoke Seattle to anyone? Just this. Tell me, genuinely. Maybe not. So it's figuring it out and what invokes that Seattle for people. What makes them like want to click through? Because without the text, it doesn't really scream Seattle. So all things you got to keep in mind. If you're local in a city, I'm sure landmarks will slip the mind. Paul Peck says no. So again, you're kind of getting that feedback there. It's not screaming kind of the reaction. And so here you have, where can you find the best chocolate chip cookie in Seattle? You might be, again, dominating it. You are. Doesn't invoke Seattle, though. Again, find ways to come, and I kind of like what Midnight Matt says. If you're local in the city, I'm sure landmarks will slip the mind. Find natural ways. Like, yes, you might be eating the cookie there, and it may make absolutely no sense based on where you are to do it. But you got to remember, sometimes going out of your way for a thumbnail can be the difference between a successful video and a failure. And again, the more you kind of combine that cookie, that city, that bubble tea, that boba with the city of Seattle, which is what you're trying to invoke, the clearer it will be. And in fact, because you said Seattle is such a key focus on you, guess what's missing from your banner? There's like zero mention of Seattle. You know what would be really cool? You have a more clear of these desserts, and you have like the skyline of Seattle in the background. Because this is not invoking Seattle. Happy to help 30-day reviews. So, first of all, Museum of Ice Cream. What's missing? The Museum of Ice Cream! 12 hours in San Francisco. You're invoking San Fran, but where is San Fran? Now, it is good that you are invoking the dessert. Like, that actually is good to have. And if you can't get an iconic landmark of the city and you can only do like this, and this is a perfect example of you are doing exactly what you need to do. But again, when you invoke a place, try to include it. I admit I left out Seattle on top because I'm hoping to cover PNW in the future. My answer to that would be that Seattle has become such a part of what you already have done, then I would then either make the dessert more common and maybe just like highlight the Pacific Northwest. Overall, really, really strong. But at times when you can invoke Seattle, you don't. And you got to remember, if you're saying this, the best thing to do for you is make it undeniably Seattle. Like, when I think of Seattle, I think of this, and I'm pretty sure most people do, right? So if we type in vlog, ooh, 420 views blazed. But here's the thing, right? Like, this is a great example of when I was targeting this is a piece of hub content that I knew could have search, but I knew that all I did this day was visit the Space Needle. So that was kind of the focus. And sure enough, I ranked for what I targeted, but I also knew, because of where I was targeting, because I talked about visiting the Space Needle, what do you see, right? Like, you see me, you see the city, and you get the idea that probably from the Space Needle. Again, if I were to redo this and I could do this in a way, I actually A/B tested this, and I did it to statistical significance. The one where I was up in the needle did better than the one where I was beside the needle by a wide margin. So keep that in mind. Welcome, Beanie Draws said, I had a nap and I see you're live. Well, I try to be live when I can. But see, this one, like, if you know Seattle, you know that this is the gum wall. And guess what? Gum wall. So they're targeting Seattle vlog, and the reason it is because it's probably got a lot of people watching longer. Like, if you look here, there's 24 hours in Seattle. Our first YouTube video. Again, they're invoking that feel. Excuse me. So hopefully that gives you a little more. That being said, I believe Cute Furry Friend videos. Uploads every week. How-to, funny, educational videos. Cats, dog, puppy videos. So I know you're creating these on your phone. I would work on trying to find a higher quality photo of these kittens. I do think they're cute, which is, your main. So, Cute Furry Friend videos, uploads every week. How-to, funny, educational videos, cats, dog, puppies, and more. I would maybe put how to treat your best cute furry friends. Teaching you how to better treat your cute furry friends videos, so subscribe, right? Or teaching you how to be better to your cute furry friends. And then you just subscribe. It's kind of a more even thing. Uploads, Cute Furry Friends video, French Bulldog. One thing I will say on this is, because of the way they're kind of lined up, yes, they're themed, but it's almost that they look all too similar, in my opinion. Again, that's just that. You may have the best CTR I've ever seen on these things, but that's something to keep in mind. If I look here, I mean, popular videos, like, you are showcasing these things, you are doing pretty well. Like, it's not bad. It's just, it's hard to identify the different ones. I know playlist creation is very difficult on your phone, so I'm not going to go too hard on that yet. But overall, I would say it looks like you're getting views. I don't see your audience size, but when I'm looking here, it seems like people are responding. My thing would be, when you're uploading content, right? Like, when you get an itch, you gotta itch it. Like, this is cute, so people are going for that cute factor. Since you're going around cute furry friends, uploads every week, you're doing these things. The Dodo is a great example of a channel that highlights funny things cats and dogs and animals do, as well as, like, sad things, but it makes it good and entertaining to watch because you want to watch these pets progress. You want to care about them, and people love their animals, man. So I would say that it's much updated to what I'm seeing. Just some things to think about. Really kind of focus on that search. I know you're on TubeBuddy Mobile, and it is useful. So I would say do your best with what you've got here. Again, it's hard to... I don't necessarily know what educational content you can do, right? Except maybe like if you're gonna have these different like how-to, funny, educational, those could be easy playlists. And I see I've created playlists, but I think, you know, maybe you start with the Meet My Pets, or you do recent uploads, Meet My Pets, the how-to stuff, or maybe you do the how-to, the funny, the educational, and you kind of follow suit with what you do here. Like you said, how-to, then funny, then educational. Well, then showcase your playlist in that order. I do like how you now have you have a channel trailer, but these are things you've got to keep in mind. So thank you, Nomad Unbroken, for stopping by. Do appreciate it. Yes, Vancouver, Van City is awesome. Have an awesome day, y'all. I gotta go. Thank you for your time. But that'd be my biggest advice there. You said to ignore the about page, but I gotta check it out. Lots of fun. You know why I was gonna say it? You could add way more there. Include your channel name and find an organic way to put these channel tags. And yeah, have a lot. Again, I would get rid of these one-word channel tags. When you have all caps like that, people aren't likely to search in all caps. They're likely just to search in all lowercase, actually. Especially since you're a mobile creator. Think about it this way. How easy is it just for you to type? And 80% of YouTube views are on a phone, and most people don't use proper grammar. Again, you got to think how the people I want to see this are searching, and most people don't use proper grammar in YouTube searches. That being said, it's not bad. I know you're working on it, and again, it goes down to, I think there's a lot you can improve. I'm pretty sure you were watching D Nim, and I think I saw you in his stream. So overall, I would say watch some D stuff. Make sure that you are doing the best you can with what you have. It's really good, and I do appreciate the super chat. And it's those things that we can improve on that will really make all that kind of difference in the world, you know? I don't think that gets talked about enough, you know? But we got to do with what we got to do. And, you know, speaking of what we got to do, thank you so much for watching. I'm Andrew Can. And remember, if I can, you can too.